Marcus wiped grease from his hands with a worn rag, the familiar smell of engine oil and metal shavings filling the cramped repair bay of Station Omega-7. 23 years he'd been fixing starships on the Outer Rim, and he'd seen every kind of alien, smuggler, and space rat the galaxy had to offer. But nothing quite like what limped through his bay doors that evening. The Dragon was massive even by draconian standards, easily 12 feet tall with wings that scraped the ceiling when folded. His scales, once probably a magnificent emerald, were now dull and patchy. Deep scars crisscrossed his hide, and one wing hung at an odd angle. But it was his eyes that stopped Marcus cold, ancient amber orbs filled with a weariness that spoke of centuries of hardship. "Forgive the intrusion, sir," the Dragon rumbled in accented standard, his voice like distant thunder. "I seek passage to the Centauri colonies. I can work. I am strong, despite appearances." Marcus set down his tools. In all his years, he'd never heard a draconian address a human with such deference. Their species were known as proud warriors, conquerors of a dozen star systems before humanity even achieved faster-than-light travel. "What kind of work you looking for?" Marcus asked carefully. The Dragon's massive head lowered. "Anything, sir. Loading cargo, cleaning waste recyclers, scrubbing plasma conduits. He paused, and when he spoke again, his voice was barely above a whisper. "May I have leftovers, sir? I have not eaten in 4 standard days." The words hit Marcus like a plasma blast. This magnificent creature, a being whose ancestors had ruled the stars when humans were still bound to Earth, was begging for table, scraps. "What's your name?" Marcus asked, moving closer. "I am called HFY, sir, once of the Crimson Fleet." The Dragon's claws scraped nervously against the metal floor. Though that name means nothing now. Marcus knew the name. Everyone in this sector did. HFY, the World Breaker, they'd called him, commander of the most feared draconian battle group, responsible for the siege of Kepler Station that lasted 3 months. But that was during the war, 15 years ago, before the peace accords. "Wait here," Marcus said, disappearing into the small kitchen attached to his workshop. He returned with a steaming bowl of synthetic protein stew, his own dinner, and set it before the Dragon. HFY stared at the bowl as if it were some alien artifact. "I cannot accept charity, sir. I have nothing to offer in return." "You're not getting charity," Marcus said firmly. "You're getting a job. I need help with the heavy lifting around here, and my back isn't what it used to be. 30 credits a day plus meals. You start tomorrow." The Dragon's eyes widened. "Sir, the War Crimes Tribunal branded me. No respectable establishment would employ one such as I." Marcus pulled up a crate and sat down, meeting the Dragon's gaze directly. "The war's over, HFY. Has been for 15 years. And from what I heard, you saved more human lives than you took when you helped evacuate the civilian stations during the Void incursion. You know of this?" HFY's voice cracked with surprise. "My daughter was on Research Station Echo 9. You and your fleet held the line for 6 hours while the evacuation ships got clear. She made it out because of you." The Dragon's mighty frame seemed to collapse in on itself. "I tried to make amends. When my own people cast me out for showing weakness toward humans, I thought if I could prove my worth, earn my place." "You don't need to earn anything," Marcus said quietly. "What you need is to remember who you are. Not the warrior, not the exile, just HFY. And HFY doesn't beg for scraps." Over the following weeks, something extraordinary happened. HFY proved invaluable in the workshop. His strength, allowing them to handle repairs on ships twice their previous size. But more than that, word spread. Other Draconians, scattered and outcast after the war, began arriving at Station Omega-7, Marcus found himself running not just a repair shop, but an unofficial refuge. "Why do you do this?" HFY asked one evening as they watched a young, draconian female learn to calibrate a fusion drive. Marcus smiled, remembering his daughter's last transmission. She'd become a xenobiologist, dedicating her life to interspecies cooperation. Because that's what humans do. We see potential where others see problems. We find family where others see strangers. HFY's amber eyes glowed with something Marcus hadn't seen in them before. Hope. In draconian culture, HFY said slowly, there is a concept, Threxnali. It means the flame that kindles other flames. I thought it was lost to our people. Maybe, Marcus replied. You just needed to see it from a different perspective. 6 months later, Marcus stood before the Galactic Commerce Council, HFY beside him, as they received the contract to establish the first interspecies technical college on the Outer Rim. The dragon who had once asked for leftovers now stood, tall, his scales gleaming with renewed health and pride. As they left the council chambers, HFY placed a massive, careful claw on Marcus's shoulder. "Thank you," he rumbled, "for seeing the dragon beneath the scars." Marcus grinned. "Thank you for showing me that sometimes miracles just need a chance to remember how to fly." Behind them, the station bustled with activity, humans and draconians, working side by side, building something new from the ashes of old hatred. The war was truly over now, not because of treaties or accords, but because someone had chosen to see potential in a broken dragon asking for scraps. And in the Outer Rim, where hope was often the rarest commodity of all, that made all the difference.